Hey there, hello and welcome. It is Madeline here. Excited to be here with you as always. I have my corporate friends on the conference line as usual. And today we are talking about how to avoid guilt over the holiday season. So I've been to the stores and apparently it's the holiday season because Christmas is everywhere in the stores. Well, at the few stores that I went shopping at over the weekend, it's Christmas in full force, and it got me to thinking about all the stress that can come with the holidays. Not that it has to be, but that's what we talk about, right? So, and then I got to thinking, so Thanksgiving is the first holiday of the holiday season here in the United States anyway. And so personally, I used to refuse to contemplate the Christmas holidays, which I celebrate with my family, prior to Thanksgiving. Hey, Christine, good to see you. Glad you made it live. Right, and so I realized that maybe I shouldn't resist what is. But anyway, so that's not what I want to talk about. But thinking about, oh, Christmas came before Thanksgiving got me thinking about Thanksgiving, right? And then I realized that this is it's the second or third year of my son's adult life that we didn't fight over what we were doing for Thanksgiving, okay? So, and which brought me to like the guilt about Thanksgiving, right? So because now you start to be pulled in different directions, right? We start to be pulled in different directions, and it might start with Thanksgiving for you, right? So this person wants you to come here to their home, or your parents want you to come for the weekend if you're traveling or you're not going to go more days. You know, like, what do you mean you're only coming for a day or two and you're not coming for, you know, like the whole holiday weekend? Or what do you mean you're not coming at all and you're going to go to your spouse's family or something, you know, something else? And so this is a conversation, this is an argument that my son and I would have. My son lives in Florida and I'm in the Northeast. And we would have this argument about who was going where for Thanksgiving perpetually. And, you know, like I was that mother, right? I was that mother that had all these reasons why he should come home for Thanksgiving, and nothing else was acceptable, right? Everything else was bullshit, and I didn't want to hear anything else, and he was wrong for not coming home for Thanksgiving. So I was that mother. So have some gentleness with your mothers, okay? And he would always say, you know, like, you're not, Mom, you're not going to make me feel guilty about making this choice, right? So, and there's the other thing that one of the things that I want to talk to you about today, right? So what was all that about? What was that all about? That was all about, you know, I love my son more than life itself. He's one of my ultimately favorite humans in the world, if not the favorite human in the world. And I wanted to see him for Thanksgiving, okay? But how that came out was in my giving him grief for choosing something else, okay? And the end result was often an argument between the two of us and a period of strife leading up to the holidays. And at some point or another, he would say, I don't want you to make me feel guilty about this, right? And there's the thing, right? So there it is, it's the guilt, right? So first of all, no one can make you feel anything, okay? Nobody can make you feel guilty, resentful, any of those things, and any emotion, right? So, and guilt it's a negative emotion, but it has its place, right? So there are occasions that we should feel guilty, okay? That it's normal to feel guilty. So for example, if we do something wrong, right? So for example, if you treat someone unkindly, right? With your tone, your attitude, or your words, you should feel guilty about that to the extent that you make reparation, for it, right? That you ask forgiveness, that you are sincere in your asking for forgiveness, and, you know, and then it goes away. But that's not what happens over the holidays, is it? No, right? So we have parents like I used to be, right, who wanted it their way and wouldn't see it any other way. We have resolved that, by the way, because we don't have that argument anymore. But I'll get to that in a few moments. And then we have children, whether they be adult children, right, who are feeling, you know, like we have all these responsibilities, right? Maybe you are married or have a partner, and you know, the holidays need to be, or you have grown children and you have multiple grown, you know, you have multiple grown children, and we can't be with all of them at the same time, can we? So we have to make a choice about where we're going to spend the holidays. So how do you do that? Okay, so, and the key is to be conscious about it, okay? So, and how do you do that? First, you recognize that, oh, and before I go there, I also want to talk about work, right? Because we're leaders on this call. We're ambitious leaders, high achievers who get things done, right? So you've got a lot going on always, and your responsibilities at work is one of the many things that you are responsible for. So maybe you feel guilty about scaling back at work a little bit so you can make room for your work responsibilities, or vice versa. Maybe you are in a point in your career or business where your work, whatever the case may be, your work demands more of you over the holidays than you would care for it to, and then you feel guilty about, I'm spending my time and energy at work versus spending my time and energy with my family over the holidays. So what do you do with that, right? We all have 24 hours in the day, 7 days in the week, yet some people manage to do everything that's important to them, and others seem to be scrambling all the time and has everyone who's around them miserable, including themselves. Okay, so which category are you in? If you're in the latter, here's the answer to that, okay? And I thought I was going to talk about food today, but I'm not going to talk about food today in order to keep it brief, and I'll do another live on, you know, eating over the holidays. Although if you're paying close attention, you can apply these principles to the food situation as well. So what do? Right? We can only be in so many places. We can only be in one place at once. And, you know, like the holidays are so long, there's only so many hours in the day. How do you do everything that's important to you? And there's the key. What is important to you? So back to my son and I, right? So we don't see each other over Thanksgiving, okay? So, and we had conversations. I did work on myself, and here's what I did, right? So what's important to me, right? So first of all, having peace and harmony in my life and in my family is important to me, right? That's one of my top priorities. Having joy in my life is one of my top values. And having this argument with my son over Thanksgiving that seemingly ended the same way, which is that we're not going to spend Thanksgiving together because our values around that holiday are different, okay? So, and that's the key. What are your values? It's critical to know what's important to you so you can make decisions easily and effortlessly, and then not second guess that you're making the right decision, right? So peace, harmony, and joy are important to me. So my son and I don't see each other for Thanksgiving, right? So I have a long-term family tradition that is important for me to honor, and it wasn't important for him to honor that, so I let that go, right? So, and the harmony between my son and I is more important than my hanging on to the story that he should do something, right? He's an adult and he can decide for himself what's important to him, Okay, so that's another part of it, right? So that's part two is boundaries, right? Is deciding what your boundaries are and then communicating them to other people. But let me back up to values. What is important to you? Okay, and this is not work that can be done in the moment, right? When you're having the conversation with your mother or adult children or your siblings about who's going where and doing what for the holiday season, that's not the time to be trying to have this what's important to me process in your mind. The time is, maybe after this meditation, you can do this work, or you set aside time to decide what is important to me. What are my values? Why is this important to me? Because it's the why that's going to allow you to execute your values with ease and grace and allow you to enforce your boundaries, right? So then you're going to decide, okay, so I'm going to go here for Thanksgiving. I'm going to be, maybe I'm only going to spend a day at mom and dad's so I can spend time with my adult children over the weekend, or vice versa. Or, this is busy time at work, so maybe I'm not going to host Thanksgiving, right? Somebody else is going to have to take that responsibility because I need to be focused at work right now because there's, because whatever is going on at work. And no one else can decide that's right or wrong for you. You need to decide whether or not that's right or wrong for you. And it's in that decision-making process. It's in that evaluation process of what are my values? What's important to me? Why is this important to me? That will allow you to say to whoever is trying to pull you in whatever direction that, no, I can't do that. And here's why. And let's move on, right? So let's move on is your boundaries, right? You decide, hey, Catherine, good to see you, girl. You decide that this is how it's going to be. And then you need to communicate that to other people. People cannot read your mind, right? And you cannot read their mind. Oh, that's a story for another day. Reading minds and making up stories, right? So I don't know how many times my friends, family, and clients say to me, oh, I know what she's thinking. And she's thinking, blah, 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 blah. Well, you do not know what they are thinking. And that's just a story that you've got going in your mind. And most of the time, the stories that we've got going in our minds don't serve us, but I digress. But you get the idea, right? So just like you can't read their minds, and I don't care if you've been married for 40 years, and you think, I know my spouse like the back of my hand. I know my children. You came from me. My mother says this to me. You came from me. I know what you're thinking. No, you don't, love. You really don't. And that thought process, this story of I know what you're thinking and this is what it is, doesn't usually serve her. So likewise, they can't read your mind either, right? So you have to communicate to your loved ones, to your colleagues, what your boundaries are. And then you need to enforce them because others are going to push up against them because they're not their boundaries, right? And not that they're disrespectful, they just want what they want. And they want to spend time with you, right? So remember, as we head into the holiday season, that they want to spend time with you, right? That whatever pushback is coming is most likely coming from love, okay? From a place of love and desire to be with you. So what if you're thinking, yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work for me. I can't talk to XYZ, or, like, Madeline, you don't know my mother. She's going to, she makes me crazy. She doesn't hear whatever. And I'm getting angry just thinking about the conversation that we're going to have, that I know is inevitable. Well, then, my love, that means there's baggage, right? There's baggage on your end. There's probably baggage on the other end. And what is baggage? That means that there are pent up negative emotions that have not been processed and have not been released. So when you come into that situation, right, you bring all the baggage from the past with you, and then you can't have this reasonable, loving conversation like I just described because you've got a lifetime of emotional baggage pent up around it, right? And that's where the release work comes in. You need to learn a process to let that stuff go, okay? So we're gonna do a meditation where I'm gonna help you with that in a few minutes. But generally, if you are in, if you're an adult in midlife or anywhere around midlife and you haven't learned how to do release work, you've got baggage, and that may be evident in the conversations that you're having, in the arguments that you're having, in the arguments that you're having in your mind before you actually have the conversation with the person. I know we've all done that. I've done that. And sometimes I still catch myself doing it. It's the human condition, but there are ways around it, is the moral of the story, right? So release the baggage. So I'm a master practitioner of NLP, hypnotherapy, and mental and emotional release, which is magical, and we can let go of a lifetime of baggage in several hours over a couple of days. So if you'd like to talk to me about what that would look like, book that call with me. I'll put the link in the chat, MadelineCorrea.com/talk. Or if you just want to have a call with me, right? Because I offer the free breakthrough call, and it's really an opportunity for you to get clear on what's going on with you, what's the trouble in your life, and how you would like it to be instead. And if I can help you with that, I'll show you how. And if not, I'll tell you that too, or I can point you in the direction of someone else that can help you. But either way, it'll be the most amazing hour that you've had working on yourself in a long time, if not ever, guaranteed. And you schedule that call by going to MadelineCorrea.com/talk. And if you do that, if you book that call with me in the next couple of days, we have time to clear out your baggage before the holidays are upon us, okay? So let me go over that again, all right? So be aware of your emotions and realize that the people that are pulling you in different directions are doing so from a place of love, okay? Because they want to be with you over the holidays, and try to approach your upcoming interaction from that place, okay? And if it's your business or your work that is pulling you in that direction, realize that you are valued. You're a valued leader in your workplace, or maybe it's your family. And it's important. You're important to the smooth operation of that organization, whether it be your business, your company, or your family, right? That's right. So, and in order to effectively manage the holidays and your emotions over the holidays, you need to do 3 things, okay? You need to know what's important to you. You need to get clear on your values, what's important to you, to include the why is it important to me. And you do that before you're having these conversations, right? Because in the conversations, emotions are going to come up. No time for working that out, okay? In that moment, okay? Then you need to decide what you're going to do, okay? What are your boundaries? How is it going to be over these next couple of months, all right? And then communicate that to other people so they know where you're coming from, and then enforce your boundaries, because they're going to push up against them. Because people want what they want, right? And they want, I want what they want. And again, remember, coming from a place of love. And then release baggage, right? So, and that means work with me or someone like me to help you release the baggage, so you can have these conversations from a clear, loving place, right? So there's no guilt in your holidays. There's no, and in addition to other negative emotions, right? Because when you do the release work with me, anyway, we take care of all the negative emotions: anger, sadness, hurt, guilt, shame, resentment. We let them all go, and then we clear the slate so you can move forward from a place where, okay, now I'm clear on what's important to me. Now I'm clear on what my boundaries are. And I help you do all that when we work together. And so if if graduates from my Primordial Power program are listening, right now would be a good time to release baggage again, right? So because the people I work with, I teach them how to release baggage so they can do it on their own. Because my goal is not to have you need me forever, right? So my graduates, before the holidays is a good time to release all your baggage again, right? And go into and get clear on what your values are for the next couple of months. set your boundaries, communicate your boundaries, and go forth and be joyful and enjoy the holiday season. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Let me know what questions you have. I see that there's a few people live on the call with me. I love it when you show up live. So just put in the chat what questions you have. And in the meantime, let's do the guilt clearing meditation. Okay, so don't worry if you've never meditated before. I will guide you. All right, and let's get comfortable. Okay, thanks for the love. Can't see who it is, but thank you. So let's get comfortable. Okay, so comfortable is in a seated upright position with your spine straight, shoulders over your hips, neck long, crown of the head reaching for the sky. Your spine is straight but not rigid. We want to be comfortable. Okay, and your legs are either in a 90-degree angle with your feet planted firmly on the earth or seated in yogi, cross-legged yogi, excuse me, position, whatever's comfortable for you. Number one rule, you want to be comfortable. Okay? Close your eyes and bring your awareness to your breath. In and out through the nose. Breathe in and out through the nose. Take a couple of longer, deeper than normal breaths. And let the last two out in open mouth, constricting the back of the throat. Making the exhale twice as long as the inhale. One more. Now I want you to bring into your awareness the situation for which you feel guilt. Unwarranted guilt. Okay, maybe it's one of the situations I just discussed. Bring it to your awareness. And notice where you feel it in your body. It has a presence in your physiology. Notice where that is now. Because the unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between I'm thinking about it and it's really happening. Notice the feeling in your body and breathe in to that area. Breathe into that area of your body where you feel the guilt and send it love. Continuing to breathe, sending it love. Nice deep breaths into that area of your physiology where you feel the guilt. Sending it love. Stay out of the mind, in the body, sending it love. Breathing into that space, sending it love. Sending it love. Think about that thing again, that situation that was causing you grief. Notice how it's different now, maybe less, maybe a little less than it was when we first started. Continue to breathe into it and send it love. Breathing into the space in your body where you are feeling or used to feel the guilt and send it love. Sending it love. Stay out of the mind, in the body. You're in your body. Sending it love. Now silently repeat, I forgive you. Please forgive me too. I love you. Thank you. I forgive you. Please forgive me too. I love you. Thank you. Continue repeating silently to yourself. I forgive you. Please forgive me too. I love you. Thank you. Continue repeating that silently to yourself. I forgive you. Please forgive me too. I love you. Thank you. Continue to repeat that silently. I forgive you. Please forgive me too. I love you. Thank you. Letting that go. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Just noticing your breath. When you're ready, when it's comfortable, slowly open your eyes. Catherine, what specifically did you try that didn't work? I'm going to unmute my corporate friends. Was the meditation comfortable?
Yeah, that was great.
Hey, Robert, glad you made it. Good.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, comments, or questions?
I missed the first couple of minutes, so I didn't hear what you were saying.
Oh, you'll have to catch the replay. Okay, because I'm still live online. Okay, I guess Catherine's not going to say, or maybe she's typing. All right, my dears, I hope this serves you. And I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. And until then, I'll see you in the gap. Namaste. Be blessed.